research paper was a development of a research satellite, which everybody from research-based angles, that is from undergrads to graduate research students, as well as a fifth grader. This is basically focused to develop a curriculum-based program for a fifth grade satellite, and it's a multi-dimensional aspect for it, so that a student can learn the in and outs of a satellite control program, as well as a research channel for it, where researchers can use the satellite to generate data. We call it a DiscoSat because our program is in connection with the Discovery Museum here at Bridgeport. That is the reason we call it a DiscoSat, but it is a CubeSat. CubeSat is basically a cube-sized, 1 cubic meter in size satellite. That is a very tiny satellite that is basically for collecting data and all. They can be in different sizes, varying different sizes, from 1, 2 to 3 cube. And nowadays, most university students actually start building these satellites, and there's an open initiative program from NASA where you can go get a launch date. We have our launch date in December 2015. But we are buying a satellite. We're not building it. We're just building the inner structure for the research angle. I'll go through that during the presentation. The research mission is for a satellite to develop a ground control system. We'll have a complete setup like the people at NASA at Houston have it. We already built in the interface and all that. We have an integrated system environment where all computers are connected. Real-time missions can be practiced and run. And this will all be done through the real-time data. Then we have a deployable communication system for researchers to learn and communicate from throughout the world. People will have open access to our database and our satellite. There is also a science mission to the to the project. We'll come to that later. So this is basically how a CubeSat looks. It is a 1U unit. So if it is a 2U unit, it will just be 2 structures. But this is the maximum size allowed from NASA. As you see the diagrams below, these are P-pod launchers, we call them. This is how the CubeSat will be deployed into space. So these are all the basics of how the CubeSat will work and all. Now the science mission or the research aspect for our project was, the Columbia shuttle had burned down on re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere. It had crashed because there was a damaged tile on the underlying layer of the shuttle. That had happened because of space debris. There is no friction, no air in space, so particles travel at a very high velocity. Our whole goal is to measure how these particles affect material. And our goal is to use a group of stereo cameras, okay, and an aerogel. Aerogel is basically a silicon-based material that is filled with air and frozen, freeze-dried, and then the air is sucked out using a vacuum. So it's basically just a molecular structure of gel, but that is really strong. It's very brittle to hold, but its latency is really strong. So if there are high impact particles going to hit it, it's going to create a trail inside. And our goal is to take images of these trails, then run imaging algorithms and monitor how these trails or how they have affected the material. So we later on understand. This is one of the, we built the whole simulation using C#. Like you can see, we are running various color-based algorithms and other edge detection algorithms to understand. This is a sample image. We haven't actually deployed a satellite, but we just took a sample image to test our code, and we get all the impact trails on how deep the crater was, the impact trail was, how it damaged the aerogel. So it pretty much gives us a basic idea, and then this data can be shared throughout. There was a project from NASA called Satellite Leo that had done the similar thing, but they had to bring the satellite back to Earth, and then they had pulled out the aerogel to measure it. So this is going to happen in real time in air. And aerogel will also, as time passes, the impact trails are going to recompass back to its original shape. So we can keep doing it. It's a long time mission. We expect the life mission to be up to 15 years. So there will be a tracking and telemetry command center that is set up. So since the Earth is pretty big, we will know when the satellite is going to come up, when it's going to go over our heads, so we can monitor and gather the data. Our time window to gather the data is just 7 minutes long. That is when we are going to get the maximum data down, and we're going to store it on our servers, which will again be accessible to all researchers and all. Similarly, when the satellite is going to come overhead, the Discovery Museum runs programs with different schools where students can come in, and during that 7 minutes they'll set up a simulation for them where the students can actually send commands to the satellite and ask its cameras to collect images from the Earth or images of the satellite or space, and these will be generated down. So this is basically a block diagram of how the communication system is going to work. Like you have an altitude and orbit control center, a data handling unit, a thermal control unit. So this is just a basic block diagram interface. In reality, the whole programming is going to be built on C# programming. It's going to be a very interface and user-friendly system. Like you see, this one is a satellite track program. This is a third-party program we're going to use in connection to our other interfaces which we're going to develop. This allows us to track our satellite in real time. So this will actually tell us if it's right above USA, it'll tell us, okay, it's going to come overhead. So using the capillary elements, we can monitor when the satellite is going to come and all. And children can actually monitor this and create log reports. They also have the Discovery Museum, apart from the Houston-based interface control panel, they have a semi model of the ISS built. So it's like you divide students into two teams who can monitor from inside the space station, and then people are being monitored from outside the space station. So it pretty much creates the whole program for them. This is an exploded view of our CubeSat, like you can see the different parts, the command and data handling. So this is pretty much it. In conclusion, I would like to say the project is a research-based program where students will be allowed to measure and monitor space debris, capture images, get data for the outer atmosphere, that is its space, and it's focused from a separate program for the 5th to the 10th grade students, and then the research angle is to measure space debris. Myself, my PhD, I've done quite a few research work on imaging algorithms and all, so that is the reason I chose this project and thought to pursue it, and we got the funding for it. So that was it. Any questions?
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
So how much of this you have implemented already?
Oh, we have built the interface, we have built the communication system. We have a deadline by December 2015.
So by the December...
We are able to track the satellite. I mean, we run our tests on other satellites. We don't have our own satellite out there.
Okay, but so you say that you have this ready?
Yeah, the simulation system
You are presenting
is
next,
ready.
so you are presenting? Are
No,
you-
I'm the same team.
Oh,
Like
okay.
this, and these are very simple algorithms to determine the impact trends. We still develop